Today I'm going to give away a free t-shirt, bring you the book of the week, and reveal the books I bought this week. How y'all doing? I'm Victor, and you are watching The Comic Hero Show. Now kick that logo. Welcome to this edition of The Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Nolly, and I am The Comic Hero. The summer of superheroes continues, and in this episode, I'm paying tribute to the intergalactic police force known as the Green Lantern Corps. Now, this is the Green Lantern Comic Hero tee. Now, if you look, and I don't know if you can see it, but if you can see inside the speech bubble, you have this halftone pattern that that's kind of similar to LED lights, and have the Green Lantern logo on the sleeves, and to go along with it, this Green Lantern power ring, and this Green Lantern hat. Now, I previously wore this shirt when I was part of the Bossier Parish Library's Blast Off to their summer reading program earlier last month. And if you're watching this and you're a librarian there, or if you were a guest there, it was good seeing y'all, and I want to thank, and I also want to thank Katie Millsap for inviting me to that. And also, this shirt received the least amount of votes when there was a poll between this shirt and the Shazam shirt. I wore the Shazam shirt on episode 263, and I'm wearing this shirt on this episode. And speaking of t-shirts, it's time to give away a free t-shirt. Alright, episode 262, I asked, the 6 letters in Shazam represent 6 Greek gods. Who are they? Well, the correct answers are Solomon, Hercules, Atlas, Zeus, Achilles, and Mercury. 9 people have answered correctly, and because they've answered correctly, their names have been entered in a drawing for a free tee, and that drawing takes place right now. So, the winner of the free tee for this week's episode of the show is Emmanuel Anderson from Richwood, Louisiana. So congratulations, Emmanuel. You win yourself a free Comic Hero tee. Alright, here's the question for next week's episode, and this is a Shazam / Black Adam question. True or false? These 6 gods who I just named, who give Shazam their powers, also give Black Adam their powers. Everyone who answers correctly been entered in the drawing for a free tee on episode 266. Now it's time for the Comic Hero Book of the Week. Let's do this. Alright, my book of the week for this episode is Fantastic Four. And I've been a fan of Fantastic Four since I was 12. I've been reading it for 22 years. And it all started with the old cartoon that came on that was done by Hanna-Barbera in the late 60s, and then also the Marvel Studios cartoons that were done back in the 90s. And then I started picking up the book. Now reading the book is so much more fulfilling than watching a cartoon. With the cartoon you get the gist of it. You know, with any comics cartoon you get the gist of the book. But reading the book is so much fun. And of course, in the Fantastic Four, I'm talking about Dr. Reed Richards as Mr. Fantastic, his wife Sue Richards as the Invisible Woman, her brother Johnny Storm as the Human Torch, and Mr. Fantastic's lifelong friend Ben Grimm as the Thing. And it's been them. And to tell you what's been going on recently with the Fantastic Four, I would have to go all the way back to 2015. During the Secret Wars story arc. Now, Marvel had decided, because of the dumpster fire that was the Fantastic Four movie that came out a few years ago, that they were going to do away with the Fantastic Four, starting with their monthly series, and then disband the team, much to my horror. And they disbanded the team in Secret Wars, where the original Marvel universe and the Ultimate Marvel universe combined and formed Doom World. And it was where Doom was king of the world, and the queen was the Invisible Woman, and then Reed and Sue's children, Valeria and Franklin, served as their children, and then even after they all snapped out of it and realized that this was all Doom's doing, they went to Reed, Sue, and then the children, and also the Molecule Man, and then this group of intelligent young people called the Future Foundation had decided to go off in space and reinvent the multiverse. And then meanwhile, back on Earth, they were all presumed dead, even by Ben and Johnny. But Johnny kind of figured that there was that they weren't dead, and he and Ben ended up going to different universes to track them down, but didn't find them. But then they end up sending Reed, Sue, and the Future Foundation end up sending a distress signal to Earth. And then Ben, Johnny, and a few others came running, and then they found them and brought them back to Earth. And it's been kind of interesting what's been happening ever since they all returned to Earth. Well, first off, the Thing, who is like the idol of many, the ever-loving blue-eyed Thing, Aunt Petunia's favorite nephew, as he's also called. Well, he and Alicia Masters finally get married, and after they get married, they travel to Arizona, and then the four members went to take on Doom. Well, meanwhile, the children, Valeria and Franklin, are giving Aunt Petunia fits, and also Alicia. And they get back and they're like, hey, we did that because we really don't like being back on Earth. We want to go back. And then Reed and Sue and also Ben had decided, okay, let's organize a block party. Maybe they'll see things differently. And this block party was organized in the wake of the events in the War of the Realms, which just wrapped up for Marvel. And then they started helping other young people, including Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. And then their point of view began to change. And the last issue I read was number 10, which was a War of the Realms tie-in. Really looking forward to it. Now, here's the one thing about the Fantastic Four that a lot of folks seem to forget, or a lot of folks don't know. The Fantastic Four is the first creation, or the first collaboration between Stan Lee and Jack Kirby back in 1961. And a lot of folks think that it might have been Captain America, but no, Stan Lee had nothing to do with the creation of Captain America. He was created by Joe Simon and Jack Kirby. And then a lot of folks think the X-Men was the first creation. No, the Fantastic Four, they created the Fantastic Four 2 years before the X-Men. The X-Men didn't make their debut until 1963. And some folks think that their first creation together was Spider-Man. Well, I can tell you right now, no, Spider-Man was created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. And of course, we lost both Steve a year ago, around just over a year ago, and Stan Lee last fall. But it's never a dull moment with the world's first family, and I can't wait to read more issues. Currently, the current run is written by Dan Slott, who used to write issues of The Amazing Spider-Man, with art by Valerio Schiti. And right now, the run has been 11 issues old, but it's been great. It's been a year since they came back, and I can't wait to read more. All right, that's it for the book of the week. Now let's get to the comics I bought this week.
Comic books I bought this week.
first up is Young Justice number 7. Ironheart number 8. Justice League Dark number 5. Justice League Dark number 6. Justice League Dark number 7. Justice League Dark number 8. Justice League Dark number 9. Justice League Dark number 10. Justice League Dark number 11. And finally, Justice League Dark number 12. Alright, that's 10, which brings the total number of comics that I bought since December of 1997 to 9,467. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and here's a question again for a free tee for episode 266. True or false? The same gods that bestow their power upon Shazam also bestow their power upon Black Adam. Everyone who answers correctly will be in a drawing for a free tee for next week's for episode 266. And congratulations to Emmanuel Anderson from Richwood, Louisiana, who won a free tee on this episode. Alright, had a poll between the Aquaman comic hero tee and the Spider-Gwen comic hero tee. The last time I checked, the Aquaman comic hero tee was leading by 2 votes, and hopefully some more of you had voted, and as soon as I can, I'll tally up the votes and see how many people have voted, and whoever receives the most votes, that'll be the tee that I wear on episode 265. And the tee with the least amount of votes will be the tee that I wear on episode 266. And I'm doing this so that way, no matter what tee you vote for, everyone wins. And hope y'all enjoying this summer of superheroes as much as I am. I mean, this is every episode of the Comic Hero Show I do is fun, and I just, and whenever something like this happens, I try to involve just about everyone who watches, or everyone who chooses to, and I just want to thank everyone that does. Alright, I'm Victor Noley on a Comic Hero. I'll see you next time for episode 265. So until then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero, and beware my power.